Right now, Madison police are searching for 5 men who broke into an apartment near the UW campus, beat one of the people inside, and robbed them. And the U.S. claims Iran is responsible for attacks on 2 oil tankers near the Persian Gulf.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at noon.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mark Kane. Thanks for tuning into News 3 Now on this Friday. We made it. A warm and sunny end of the work week. Let's head to the Weather Center. Meteorologist Chris Reese has a look at your first alert forecast. Hi, Chris.
Good afternoon, Mark. We are looking at partly sunny skies outside right now, but perhaps you've noticed there is a little bit of an increase in that cloud cover. We've been watching that, especially towards the north and the northeast across parts of Wisconsin. In fact, here's a visible cloud track just showing you where a lot of that heavier cloud cover is. In the same area, we are watching showers and thunderstorms rumble through parts of the state. Now, a lot of this has been far north of Madison, so we haven't really seen the impact from that, but we are watching some shower activity near the Dells just to the north of Portage and Poynette. We will watch that going through the rest of this afternoon. I don't think our rain chance really begins to pick up until we move into the overnight hours. Now, one thing you will notice, we are a lot warmer out there now than we have been over the past couple of days. That is because we have a strong southwest wind, folks, and that's really amping up our temperature. 77 in Janesville right now. We sit at 73 here in Madison. We're going to watch those temperatures as we go through about the next 12 hours, likely topping out around 74 to 75 degrees. But then we're also watching the rain chances over the weekend and whether or not we'll dry out in time for Father's Day. I'll be breaking that all down in Maine weather, Mark.
All right, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you, Chris. Madison police are looking for 5 armed robbery suspects who broke into a downtown apartment building. Police say just after 8 o'clock last night, they went to a 9th floor apartment at the Hub Apartments on State Street. They beat one of the 3 people in the apartment, then kicked in a locked bedroom door and stole items and cash. At least one of the suspects claimed to have a gun, but none of the witnesses saw one. Madison police also asking for people to help identify 2 people suspected of stealing a kitten from a Northside pet store. This is a surveillance photo from Noah's Ark Pet Center in the Northgate Shopping Center. Police say the theft happened around 8:30 Wednesday night. Anyone with information asked to call Crime Stoppers. The Dane County Sheriff's Office is warning of scammers posing as work crews who go door to door offering to do asphalt, painting, or home improvement jobs. According to a release, scammers say they have leftover supplies from a nearby job, but the materials they're using are poor quality, and they'll leave homeowners with a large bill. The Sheriff's Office says they're often targeting elderly residents. President Trump celebrated his 73rd birthday with a nearly 1-hour call into Fox and Friends this morning. He now says he would notify law enforcement if a foreign government offered up dirt on a political opponent in the 2020 presidential election.
Of course you have to look at it, because if you don't look at it, you're not going to know if it's bad. How are you going to know if it's bad? But of course you give it to the FBI or report it to the Attorney General or somebody like that.
That is a complete flip from what he told ABC News. Critics and even some Republican lawmakers denounced the president's comments, saying it opens the door to more foreign interference in presidential elections. Into the Channel 3000 Alert Center this afternoon, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement has placed 5,200 adult immigrants in quarantine after being exposed to mumps or chicken pox. ICE has recorded cases in 39 immigration detention centers across the country. It's not clear where the disease came from or how it spread. The man accused of shooting Boston Red Sox legend David Big Papi Ortiz claims he wasn't the intended target. Dominican police say Ralphie Ferreira confessed to shooting Ortiz as part of a nearly $8,000 hit job. Through a barred window of his holding cell, he told reporters he was confused and they only told me the color of his clothes. Back in Boston, Ortiz is still recovering in intensive care. Tensions are high in one of the world's most strategic regions after attacks on 2 tankers near the Persian Gulf. The United States claims Iran carried out the suspected coordinated attacks on the Japanese and Norwegian-owned ships. Iran's foreign minister denies it. David Martin reports from the Pentagon.
This assessment is based on intelligence, the weapons used, the level of expertise needed to execute the operation.
One reason Secretary of State Pompeo laid the blame squarely on Iran is this video. The The U.S. says it shows an Iranian patrol boat coming alongside and removing an unexploded mine from one of the tanker's hulls, making off with the evidence, in other words. The U.S. says other mines planted by Iran did explode, leaving one tanker so badly damaged it was in danger of sinking and the other in danger of drifting into Iranian waters. CBS News consultant, retired Admiral Sandy Winnefeld, explained how an attack like this could be pulled off.
This was actually a fairly high-skilled attack, probably conducted by a small boat coming alongside the ship, attaching a limpet mine or two or three to the ship, and then making its escape in time to avoid the explosion.
But the owner of one of the tankers says before the attack, the crew saw flying objects, suggesting mines were not the cause. Regardless of how the attack occurred, the bottom line is the same.
At the end of the day, this will create more instability in the Gulf region. It's not going to help things at all. And when there's less instability in the Gulf region, for Americans, that means potentially higher prices at the gas pump and potential for conflict should this escalate.
Secretary Pompeo said the U.S. response to the attacks would focus on diplomatic and economic measures.
Iran should meet diplomacy with diplomacy, not with terror, bloodshed, and extortion.
U.S. officials say no military strike against Iran is imminent. But Winnefeld says he doesn't think it would take much more from Iran to trigger one. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
And Iran says it is in charge of maintaining security in the Strait of Hormuz and that the U.S. accusations are alarming. But if Iran did do this, former acting CIA Director Mike Morrell says it's possible it was intended to raise oil prices and force our allies to pressure the U.S. to back off on Iran. Colorado has made more than $1 billion in revenue from marijuana sales since it was legalized in 2014. That total is from the marijuana tax plus license and fee revenue combined. Marijuana sales alone have exceeded $6.5 billion. The governor says the industry is helping grow the state's economy by creating jobs and generating revenue that's going towards preventing youth consumption, protecting public health and safety, and investing in public schools. And heads up, or down as it were, Madison's Naked Bike Ride is coming to town tomorrow. It can be hard to avoid because the organizers keep their route announcement pretty generic. The ride is meant to advocate for body positivity and protest oil dependency. Earlier this week, we talked with a sexual assault survivor who says the events are more than an uncomfortable inconvenience, it's a trigger. The ride starts at 11 o'clock somewhere tomorrow. And a Madison downtown favorite, the Old Fashioned was ranked as having the best cheese curds in Wisconsin. That's according to USA Today. The restaurant also took the top curd prize in Madison Magazine's Best of Madison Awards. The curds are served with a house-made Wisconsin beer batter with a choice of dips that include smoked paprika, roasted garlic, buttermilk ranch, or tiger blue. Now I'm hungry. Speaking of food, there's more to come on News 3 Now at noon. Up next, we'll see what Howard's working on in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
Grab a stack of napkins, because you're going to need them for the humongous ribs we're making today. The best part, you'll have the recipe in time for Father's Day. I've got a question. How come on Mother's Day we try to come up with just the right thing to make for Mom so she doesn't have to cook, or we take her out? But on Father's Day, Dad's often the one doing the cooking. So here's a recipe to try out this weekend, no matter who's wearing the Kiss the Cook apron. They're beef ribs, which are big in size and huge when it comes to flavor. We begin by combining some ground cumin, dried oregano, and crushed thyme, along with a bit of chili powder, garlic powder, and some salt. After this gets mixed, we rub it over some beef ribs. And if you're not familiar with them, they're cut from above the prime ribs, so they're really flavorful. After roasting them uncovered for about an hour, we'll slather them with some barbecue sauce, and back into the oven they go until they're super tender. The results are ribs that are so big, so tender, and so flavorful, you won't be able to stop eating them. Just make sure you have plenty of napkins. To get this recipe in time for Father's Day, all you have to do is visit our website and type in dinosaur ribs. I'm Howard in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a monstrously big way for Dad to say, "Ooh, it's so good."
All right, Howard, thank you. Sunny and warmer out today. We're expecting highs in the mid-70s to take us into the weekend, but there are a few shower chances. Meteorologist Chris Reese has your first alert forecast next. Our Call for Action phone bank is open right now, ready to take on your consumer issues. You can call our hotline, and volunteers will help you with any consumer complaints. The number 608-270-2833. The service open every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday between 11 and 1. Let's check Wall Street at the noon hour. The Dow Industrials down 33 points. The NASDAQ off 41, and the S&P 500 down a little over 7.5. Well, our fabulous farm babe made a special appearance on the Manitowoc Minute, sharing a little bit about her job and some of her Wisconsin favorites. Take a look.
Some people call you the Oprah of farm broadcasting. You get a cow, and you get a cow. That's right. Chick-fil-A or Culver's?
Culver's,
okay.
Come on.
I had to make sure I got the right woman in the car. Quick Trip or BP?
What?
These are establishing questions,
Okay.
Pam. You answer them.
Should I pull out my quick trip card for you?
Oh, she's getting feisty, folks.
It is priceless. Pam, how was that car ride with Charlie Behrens? The whole newsroom was cracking up today.
It was hilarious, and the outtakes are probably better than what Charlie put together on there. But yeah, it was fun. I got hooked up with him through the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin to do a little bit of a promotion for June Dairy Month in Wisconsin, obviously. So Charlie pitched in. He's also going to be making an appearance during the special block party during Wisconsin Farm Technology Days on Tuesday, July 24th. So get your tickets if you want to see Charlie and his live and in-person Manitowoc Minute. He's a great guy. It was a lot of fun. I'm happy to be working with them, at least for that little bit. Well, we're working today to see what kind of weather we're going to have through the weekend. A lot of conversations about all the unplanted acres, and here we are, 14th day of June. It's pretty much out of time now. I know I talked to my crop insurance adjuster this morning about our farm. So if it's not in the ground, chances are we're going to start searching for cover crop seed. I think that supplies on that cover crop seed are going to be very, very tight. I've had some of our agronomists even suggest that you might want to look at like bin run oats or something like that if you're really having a tough time finding something that you'll be able to eventually get on those acres that will take down the weeds a little bit and also keep the soil and nutrients in place. So that's kind of a follow-up story I'm going to have to be working on starting next week. Monday is the beginning of sign-up for the Dairy Margin Coverage Program under the 2018 Farm Bill. All dairy farms should take a look at this one. U.S. Ag Secretary Sonny Perdue says that it's gone through a major renovation. Dr. Mark Stevenson, our Center for Dairy Profitability, is calculating kind of worksheet you can work through at dairymarkets.org. But dairy farmers, remember, supposed to be able to start signing up for that on Monday. And apparently they're also adding in the escalated cost on alfalfa hay for feeding our cows. That's apparently going to be part of the margin too. So lots of things left to look forward to as far as that. Barrel cheese today up 1/4 cent at 1.60 1/2. 40-pound block cheese down 1 3/4 pennies at 1.78 1/4. Double A butter down 2 3/4 cents, 2.36 1/2 per pound. And again, Mark, with the weather in the forefront of our weekend activities, Columbia County Moo Day brunch starts at 9 tomorrow morning at the Kestnick Farm by Arlington. Ride the bus from the UW Arlington Public Events Building. Watertown Dairy Breakfast on the farm Saturday and Sunday starting at 7. Park at the Fleet Farm in Watertown and take the bus out to that farm. They just don't want any traffic out on those fields with the soggy conditions.
Yeah, it is very, very wet. All right, well, and have a good weekend. And you can check out the video, Manitowoc Minutes, on your Facebook page, Channel 3000. Yeah. It's all over the place. Did you sell the microphone? I'm giving away the ending.
I should have grabbed it while I was finishing the markets. We'll see how many appearances that microphone makes.
All right. Have a great weekend, Pam.
You too. Thanks, Mark.
All right. Chris is here now with a look at the weather, and it could be a little wet this weekend.
It could be a little wet this weekend, and we're watching some of that right now as it's the tale of two different stories across the state of Wisconsin. I mean, from Fargo, North Dakota, through the Twin Cities, all the way over towards Milwaukee. One of the things you'll notice is temperatures are a lot warmer than they were over the past 24 hours. Really give that the last 48 hours. It's been a really chilly couple days. Then you look across the Northwoods and then across the UP of Michigan, and things are a lot cooler. In fact, temperatures are in the 50s there. Meanwhile, we're at 75 in Milwaukee, La Crosse at 75, 80 in Minneapolis, Madison at 73. This is all thanks to a very strong southwest wind that's ushering in those warmer temperatures throughout the day. Meanwhile, across the northern part of the state, we have a lot of cloud cover, a blanket of cloud cover, if you will. And underneath that, we are watching some showers and thunderstorms. We're talking Green Bay over towards Rylander, back towards Duluth. They've been dealing with the showers and thunderstorms all day. We're watching that mainly north of the Madison area. Westfield over towards Fond du Lac. That's where you're seeing some of those showers right now, and then back again just towards the north of La Crosse. The southern tier of the area has been predominantly dry today, mainly partly sunny is what we've been able to see outside. We're looking at that right now. I do believe, though, that we will get our turn at seeing some showers and thunderstorms as we go through the weekend. Again, winds coming out of the south and southwest at 10 miles per hour. 73 degrees is the temperature right now. Now, our forecast high is 74, but given that strong southerly wind, I do think we might exceed that by a degree or two, say 75 or 76. But we'll watch that into the afternoon. Watch what happens across the southern tier of the area into the overnight hours. That's when we'll begin to see that next round for showers and thunderstorms. Thankfully, it's late. A lot of folks are asleep once you get towards midnight or so, but I do think we'll see a daytime chance of showers and thunderstorms as well. This is tomorrow night or tomorrow afternoon, and we'll start to see some more showers and thunderstorms moving into the picture. But then the good news is we'll begin to dry things out just in time for Father's Day. This rain is being brought to us by a cold front sliding in from the north. There will be a couple waves of low pressure along that. By the time we get you towards Sunday, folks, there may be some lingering cloud cover, but I do think the sun is going to start to peek through that cloud cover. All the moisture sweeps out with that cold front pushing on through. That's why I think we will dry out in time for Father's Day afternoon. We have a small chance for rain in the morning on that day, but then the sun returns. We'll see temperatures into the mid or an upper 60s, perhaps some low 70s if we get enough sunshine. So we're watching that. Monday and Tuesday do look to start dry before we see some additional rain chances midweek. All of these temperatures, though, will be a couple degrees below average at this point.
And that's not all-day rains later in the week.
Those are not all-day rains at all. Those are just spotty showers.
All right, good news for dads, I guess.
Absolutely.
All right, Chris, thank you. Next to noon, a woman in Houston says she doesn't need to plan out any more Father's Day gifts for her dad after making a pretty big sacrifice for him in the hospital. That story is coming up on News 3 Now at noon. Well, a woman in Houston knew her father didn't have years to wait for a kidney transplant, so that's when she stepped up in a big way. TJ Parker has the story.
It's just a very special Father's Day.
Actually, my sister told me when we had the surgery that I'd never have to get him another Father's Day gift.
Nick Massad's kidneys were failing him.
I was faced with dialysis, or perhaps an early death.
Nick had a few grim options, and then his doctor suggested a kidney transplant. But with hundreds of thousands of people waiting for one, and the wait time being more than 5 years, his family knew they needed to do something quick.
When we knew he needed a transplant, we thought of the list. You hear about the list, and then once you find out the details, you realize the list is not really an option. It wasn't an option for him to wait that long.
Taylor was a perfect match.
When I first found out that I was approved to be a donor, I was ecstatic. I wasn't scared. I was ecstatic. It was like, when can we go? Let's do it today. I mean, he needed it.
A daughter donating to her father is truly one of the most impressive things anyone could do to their family member.
Methodist Houston Chief of Kidney Disease, Dr. Hassan Ibrahim, says half of living donors are relatives.
If you can help somebody, it's your dad, you help somebody.
It's the Father's Day gift that keeps on giving.
You know, have just felt wonderful, feel like my college years all over again.
Taylor and her dad are now big advocates for donations. A lot of good people down there in Houston, right, Chris?
Yeah, Houston is my hometown. A great place for folks and a great place typically for some warmer weather. Unfortunately, we are not as warm as Houston, but we are warmer today. We're seeing those temperatures that are going to be into the mid-70s, which is a lot warmer than we've been for the past couple of days. Our highs will be in the 70s Saturday as well. The only problem is we're going to see that chance for some showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. We should dry out, though, just in time for Father's Day. We may see a few showers early in the morning on Father's Day, but we'll clear out for the afternoon and then likely stay dry through Tuesday, warming up a little bit to more seasonable temperatures, though still a couple degrees below average as we warm into the mid and upper 70s throughout the end of the week. We'll see some spotty rain chances, though, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and likely into next weekend. The good news is none of those rain chances, at least at this point, look like complete washouts.
All right, looking good. It is Flag Day, by the way. Celebrate Old Glory. That's our time for now. We'll see you back here at 4.